Wow, so Marvel has dropped a few bombs out on us lately, and I gotta say, we need to have a discussion right now. Lucky here is going to be joining me for the rest of the video, because if I just leave him to the side, he's going to start crying, because I can't do these videos without him crying for some reason. He's a little baby, aren't you? So he's going to be here with me for the rest of the video, and I hope you can enjoy that. Before we get into some of our crazy stuff, we've got a lot to catch up on, but first I want to talk about the Ironheart series. So Ironheart has officially come to an end with its 6-episode series, 3 episodes being released the first week, 3 episodes again the next. And I gotta say, before the show even came out, I was very nervous because I didn't expect anything of the show. The way Marvel was releasing its show just screamed no confidence. It didn't look good, and it was just bad, you know, and it left a sour taste because it really made me feel like the show was gonna be bad. And I gotta say, after the first 3 episodes, I thought I was gonna be wrong, but then those last 3 episodes, it was just no. I don't know what happened. The show had something with the first 3 episodes, and they lost me on the last 3. But I will say, what they do at the end, oh my god! Spoiler warning if you have not seen Ironheart yet. I'll give you about 5 seconds. Do you see that? Do you see that little image right there? I cannot believe after years and years of speculation, excitement, and hype, Mephisto is now finally in the MCU. Can you believe that? Can you believe it? This officially changes the game, well, more specifically for the supernatural side of Marvel, because the supernatural side officially now has its big bad. Originally, when you first see Sacha Baron Cohen, which I believe is a perfect casting for Mephisto, first of all, when you first see him, after years of speculation believing that Sacha Baron Cohen would be playing Mephisto, seeing him for the first time in the show, I was watching it with my friends, and I kept this quiet in my mind. I was like, holy shit, this could finally be it. This could finally be it. But I was so nervous that I was going to end up being someone else. And once he started joking, because Ironheart believed that this was Dormammu, and he was joking that Dormammu wasn't even on the level to lace his boots, that's when the excitement really started to happen. And then you see that little image with the spoon where you get that little tease of him in his full form, and I fully geeked out. That was just a tease from what we got. He even did say his name. This is Mephisto. So now we officially have Mephisto in the MCU. And I gotta say, it is about damn time. You know what? You can have my hat. I don't know what exactly this changes heading into Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars. I honestly don't believe Mephisto will play any part in this, but maybe he does, because there is history between Mephisto and Dr. Doom in the comics. It's just not good history. They don't like each other. They're not allies. And my first original thought was, well, Dr. Doom is rumored to be recruiting a team to help, in his vision, save the multiverse, and my first thought was maybe Mephisto would be a part of that, but after a good lore dive, that is not the case at all, or at least according to comics. They don't like each other. In fact, Mephisto doesn't like anyone. He is someone whose literal goal is to manipulate everyone in his very evil, demonic way. Mephisto's pure evil. So how can this play into Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars? Well, my official guess is that it won't. This will be something that will be focused on way after Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars, because after that we know what 3 sides of Marvel that they're going to focus on. Well, 4 technically. So you have your cosmic side of Marvel, which will probably revolve around Nova, maybe the Guardians of the Galaxy, Fantastic Four, you know, the stuff that we've kind of already been seeing. Then you have your supernatural side of Marvel, stuff that we just started getting introduced to with Werewolf by Night, Moon Knight, and now essentially Ironheart. I guess Ironheart's gonna play in a way with it, and you can also add Doctor Strange, Blade, not really the Eternals, but Black Knight, I believe his name is. This could be how we get to the Midnight Suns. It's just gonna have to be after all the multiverse war is over. And then you have the mutants, which is going to seem to be the main focus of Marvel after all of this, which is great because it's about damn time that we've gotten the mutants. And it seems like all these are going to be going on together, and the fourth one being the street level of Marvel. But we're probably not going to see a lot of the street level of Marvel because it's really only going to involve Spider-Man and Daredevil and Punisher. You could make the argument Moon Knight because Moon Knight is technically a street level hero. However, based off the show, he doesn't seem like a street level hero. So it seems like a lot of the things after Avengers Doomsday and after Avengers Secret Wars is going to start lining up. And every side of Marvel, because that's what Kevin Feige wants to do after all of this. He wants to export those three sides of Marvel, and it seems like every side of Marvel is going to have its own storyline, essentially, kind of like how the storyline led up for the Infinity Saga, and I guess you can say the Multiverse Saga, even though the Multiverse Saga lineup has been a complete mess. And now that Mephisto is finally playing into game, keep in mind, this show was filmed 3 years ago, so we were supposed to get this way in the past, back then. But I don't know, something just happened and we ended up getting the show now. That is probably a big reason to why the show isn't as good as expected, because it wasn't made under that whole quality over quantity standpoint that Marvel's doing now, like we've seen with the Thunderbolts. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying Marvel's back on the right track, but like at least we know after seeing Thunderbolts, it's a step. Marvel, you finally did it. Please don't screw it up. Now, moving on. Not everything I'm about to talk about is most likely going to play a part after Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars. Don't worry, I'll talk about Avengers Doomsday because I do have some new leaks, but I want to talk about this stuff first. So it seems like Spider-Man is going to be coming back to Marvel. I don't know how this is gonna happen, but apparently this involves one company, and the company is the rival company. Apparently Sony has shared interest into buying part of Warner Brothers Discovery, and this could include DC Studios. That is absolutely mind-blowing. Now this is great for one reason and is bad for another. Here's why it's great. Spider-Man will officially be coming back to Marvel, and we won't have to worry about anything Sony has been trying to do lately, because Sony, unfortunately, has just been screwing things up with Spider-Man. Whether you want to hate, whether you love it or not, it is just a fact. And it seems like Sony has completely gotten rid of their Sony Spider-Man universe. They're done working on that now. They're no longer focusing on those spin-offs anymore, and I don't know what they're going to be working on next. A Null movie was supposedly in the works, and now that's not happening anymore. Now here's why it would be bad. It's Sony, and I don't think we want Sony ruining the potential the DCU has. I mean, we still don't know much about, like, there's still a lot of like uneasy feeling leading into the DCU. However, with the Superman movie and everything we've seen so far, it looks fantastic.
Say that again?
If Sony tries to go and, well, as I would say, Sony up DC, that would just be a really big disappointment, because being a true nerd, being a fan of Marvel and DC, not one or the other, I gotta say, like, I really want to see DC succeed to the level Marvel was back in like 2016 and 17 and 18 and 19. Because, like, that's truly what I wanted when DC was doing its Batman vs Superman, the Justice League, the Suicide Squad. Even if the order of release was completely terrible, I wanted to see all of those movies succeed. I'm obviously more big of a fan of Marvel than I am DC. However, I've never hated DC. I've always loved the DC. So I want to see both of them be good. I don't want to see one be better than the other, even though that's pretty much inevitable. But I want to see both be good in its own way. And it seems like James Gunn is on the right track of doing that. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think Sony should go through with that? Honestly, I don't know. If it's a way of getting Spider-Man back, yes, that is a plus, but it may not be a complete plus. And I'm looking at the what are you looking at? But if you think that's all we've got about Spider-Man, it is not, because this is by far some crazy news we've gotten on Spider-Man. So it officially seems like Savage Hulk is confirmed for Spider-Man Brand New Day. Even though it's not confirmed, we're at the point where it's like, okay, it's confirmed. How they're gonna go at it, I don't know. But one of the big blockbusters is now officially confirmed. The Punisher, Frank Castle, John Bernthal, is going to be in Spider-Man Brand New Day. From us thinking this being a complete impossibility, it's now a confirmation. He's gonna be in the movie. Even though we have heard it's going to be the lighter side of Punisher, the PG side, which obviously we can expect. I mean, it's a PG movie. That is a bit disappointing though, because we want to see Punisher do the Punisher. What is his role in this movie? Well, I did some digging and here's what I found. After the world has forgotten his name, Peter Parker begins a new chapter in his life, balancing college, classes, part-time work, and his responsibility as a New York's friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. This sounds exactly like what people have been wanting for the longest time in terms of Spider-Man's, Tom Holland's Spider-Man. We just wanted to see him do things on his own. We never really gotten to see him do things on his own because he's always had somewhat of a mentor in each of his movies, and his movies were always bigger than street level crime. In Homecoming, you had Iron Man as his mentor, and he trying so hard to become an Avenger. And Far From Home, you had people pressuring him into becoming the next Iron Man, and his mentor was sort of happy, and Happy kind of telling him, well, you can't be the next Tony Stark, but you can be the first Peter Parker. And that was a step in the right direction. And if it wasn't for fans changing Spider-Man No Way Home, we wouldn't have gotten the other two Spider-Men mentoring Peter Parker in that movie, and that being a multiverse film. But with everything going on, in all honesty, I'm much more grateful that we got that instead. But now we finally have a chance to get that grounded Spider-Man film that we've always wanted to get for Tom Holland. And even though this may not be that case, this is close enough. But when a mysterious force begins to unravel the city from the inside out, Peter finds himself caught between powerful enemies, old legacies, and unexpected allies. As shadows from the past creep into his present, he must redefine what it truly means to be a hero, hear this out, on his own. That is exactly what we wanted. That is exactly what we wanted. We need Peter Parker to be doing this on his own now, because that's something Peter Parker's always been doing. Peter finds himself caught between powerful enemies, old legacies, and unexpected allies. Now, when you hear unexpected allies or old legacies, you can go to the Hulk. Well, Bruce Banner. We know Bruce Banner is now going to have an important role in this movie, essentially. And we may not know what that role is, but I'm assuming legacies can tie into that, or it may tie into the possibility of a Tobey Maguire returning. Now, I know I just said we wanted that grounded Spider-Man film. However, with the multiverse literally unraveling at the moment, we may get half of it. We may get half and half, and that's been speculated for the longest time now. It's also been speculated for the longest time now that Tobey Maguire would be in the movie, considering Sadie Sink's character. We still don't know who Sadie Sink is. Sadie Sink is confirmed to be in the movie, but we still don't know who she's going to be playing. And the biggest rumor is Mayday Parker, but not just any Mayday Parker. That is Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man's daughter from that universe. That is the biggest rumor we've been getting. Now, obviously, it can be a complete different thing. It could straight up just be Mary Jane Watson. And some of you may be thinking, well, we already got MJ in the MCU. No, we have Michelle Jones Watson. This is confirmed not to be Mary Jane. And yes, her name is Michelle Jones Watson. However, she doesn't go by Watson, so she just goes by Michelle Jones. Her friends call her MJ. So maybe this is how we get the real Mary Jane in the MCU. I don't think that would be the case. It will most likely be some other multiverse thing, but that's something her character will most likely be. And we've heard countless people who her character can be, going from Black Cat to Gwen Stacy, even though Sadie Sink looks nothing like them. So that can tie into the old legacies and unexpected allies. And we obviously know Punisher is going to be an unexpected ally. I have no clue. This is gonna have to be something that either if this movie, because we know this movie is coming out before Avengers Doomsday, but what I want to know is does this come out after the Punisher special? Because if it does, maybe that ties into this a little bit. But I am very curious to see Punisher's role in this movie, considering it's not going to be the same Punisher we all know and love. Well, it is, but like it's going to be the more of the PG side of Punisher. I'm honestly curious to how that's going to play out. And I've already seen lots of memes of Punisher basically calling Peter Webhead, and I'm really hoping that's the case, because I can't remember the last time someone called Peter Parker Webhead in the Spider-Man movie.
We'll check it again, Webhead.
And last but not least, man, I apologize, this video is getting long. This is what you've been waiting for: Avengers Doomsday. Now, this one actually plays a part in the Fantastic Four movie. We don't exactly know what's going to be going down at the end towards the Fantastic Four, whether their universe stays alive or not from Galactus. But what we do know is that Franklin Richards is going to be a big part of this movie, and a big part of the multiversal war. Essentially what we know is Galactus can sense the power of Franklin Richards, and while he wants to use him for God knows what, probably to have an easier way of destroying worlds for him and having Galactus conquer over. Maybe it'll be easier for him. However, this leak doesn't play along with Galactus. It doesn't entitle Galactus. It actually entitles Dr. Doom. Essentially, Doom's way of trying to restore the multiverse in his own way. In the comics, the person he uses is Molecule Man, because Molecule Man is literally just a bomb. Like it's in his name. And basically he uses Molecule Man to destroy universe after universe after universe until there is one left. Well, this is just one catch. If that's gonna happen in Avengers Doomsday and or Avengers Secret Wars, well then we don't have Molecule Man. So how is this gonna work? Well, according to leaks and rumors, Franklin Richards' powers is going to have a lot to do with Molecule. So it seems like they're replacing Molecule Man with Franklin Richards in his powered entitled way. And then I think back to that supposed leaked post-credit scene that was shown when they did the test screening. Well, in said post-credit scene, this is essentially what happened. Sue Storm is reading a book with Franklin Richards. She goes to grab another book, turns around, and there she sees Dr. Doom holding his mask. Now we don't see Robert Downey Jr., but we see Dr. Doom. So it seems like not only was Galactus able to sense the power of Franklin Richards, maybe Dr. Doom was too, because according to leaks, Dr. Doom wants to use Franklin Richards. It's all starting to add up now. Instead of wanting to use Molecule Man, he can use Franklin Richards to get what he wants in restoring the universe. And it's not just Franklin Richards he's going to be going after. We've heard several leaks of Dr. Doom trying to create his own team to restore the universe in his own way, because like we said, with Dr. Doom, he's trying to save the multiverse. In his mind, that's what he thinks he's doing. He thinks he's trying to save the multiverse. He's just going about it the wrong way. Same thing with Thanos. In Thanos' mind, Thanos was a hero for wiping out half the population so there would be more resources for everyone, when he could have just simply used the Infinity Stones to double the resources or make the planet bigger. I don't know, something. He's just slaughtering multiple timelines, one after another, one after another, one after another, until he can play God. And this is when Doctor Strange comes into play. Now we're wondering what the hell Doctor Strange is going to be doing on this time, because, well, he's in another universe. We think it's the Dark Dimension, but we don't know for sure yet, with Clea. Now Clea is actually his wife in the comic, so this can play a part of it as well. But we have seen a leak of Doctor Strange standing on the side of Dr. Doom, and it looks like he's gonna essentially be his right-hand man. Like, Doctor Strange knew that the only way for them to win was for a lot of the entire world, the entire universe, for half the population to die for 5 years. Doctor Strange knew that. So obviously at first he's probably not gonna want to take part in Victor Von Doom's way, but then he's gonna come to realize that this is the only way. This is the only way to save the universe. That's what Doctor Strange does. He's not exactly the most noblest superhero. This even happens in the comics. Doctor Strange does team, well, not team, but like essentially become the right-hand man of Dr. Doom. He knows that, well, this is truly the only way. And it looks like, based off those leaks, that's where we're going to be seeing in Avengers Doomsday. And that's going to be interesting, because that's going to portray Doctor Strange as not exactly a hero, but just slightly a bit of a villain. And who knows what other members he has on his team. We know that Scarlet Witch has been thrown up there. We don't know the possibilities yet. And I'm pretty sure we know Galactus isn't gonna die unless the Fantastic Four actually manage to win. But the only way they can win is for Reed to build the, oh my god, I can't think of the name right now. What was the name? I'll put it up on the screen. I can't think of the name right now. But for Reed to build this, that's the only way for them to defeat Galactus. And maybe that's the case. Maybe they actually do defeat Galactus. And maybe the way they end up on Earth 616 is because Dr. Doom takes Franklin Richards and they're going searching for the baby. And the universe is actually fine. We don't know yet. Only time will tell when the movie comes out. But yeah, oh man, that was a lot. I'm talking about. I know there was a lot of unanswered things that I left out because we truly don't know everything yet. I try to do as much lore dive as I could possible, and there's a lot that we still don't know. This is the part of the video where I kind of just tell you the little things that I've heard about. So let's start off with let's just end off with these two little things. So after Avengers Doomsday and after Avengers Secret Wars, it seems like Marvel's making a big decision involving two projects. Those two projects are involved Nova and Strange Academy, and it seems like Nova may be turned into a movie with Annihilus as the main villain. And I will say, I will be seated for that, but I've unfortunately haven't heard enough to actually break down it more, so that's all I'm gonna have to leave you with, unfortunately. Thank you all so much for watching this video. If you haven't, click the like button down below, subscribe if you are not, and I'll leave it at that. TH out.